Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us as we continue to look at the ANC in the North West, where delegates have not yet started voting over delays of the issue of credentials. For more on this, I'm joined by political analyst Prof Sethulego Matebesi from the University of the Free State. A very good afternoon to you, Professor. Thank you for your time. The conference is currently delayed, but we know prior to this it was postponed more than 3 times already because of internal disputes, including allegations of rigging, sabotage, and factionalism. It got off to a rather rocky start with the court disputes, which saw the IPC's voting powers taken, and now we are learning of delays. What is your assessment of the conference?
Hi, good afternoon, Paul, and good afternoon to South Africans. The predicament that we see, or dilemma in Northwest, it is a general problem within the African National Congress. Many other provincial conferences almost started on a similar footing, but you would have expected that a province that has been under Section 198 intervention, having an administrator in the past, would have at least managed to deal with these kind of issues in a much more better way than any other provinces. But seemingly this is not the case. And it's said that the African National, we know it's a highly contested elective conference, and some would say it's even democracy at play. But once you go to a conference which have been planned, and then there's been delays already, 2, 3 of them, and then you go to conference and still there had to be delays about credentials, that is indicative of the administrative malaise within the African National Congress.
There's a lot of uncertainty as you and I speak, because it's now being rumored that they may want to interdict the conference. If that were to happen, what would it mean for a conference of this magnitude?
No, most definitely the conference will have to be rerun, but we also know that we're not far from the December elective conference, and a lot of planning also had to go into that. And we know there are still outstanding provinces, and I refer to the province where I'm based, the Free State, which I strongly also believe, and I've also heard the previous interview, there will definitely be also a lot of heavy contestations around issues of credentials and all that. But this will definitely have a huge impact for the African National Congress at national level going forward. But it also just once again, each time these kind of things happen, it sends out a message that you've got more than a century-old organization which seems to battle in dealing with administrative issues. But I think this main problem throughout the country has been caused by people fighting for their political life, and that's why at one stage there were 5 candidates vying for the position of chairpersonship in the province, and I know it might now seem like it's a 2-horse race, but the fact of the matter, it just shows you that some people don't know when to say no. Let me give an opportunity to other leaders.
The stakes are certainly high, especially as we heard yesterday ANC Deputy President David Mabuza warning that South Africans were growing wary of the ANC's infighting. He also spoke about how the organization has faced challenges, but saying that none have been as divisive as the party is dealing with at this moment. I mean, the stakes are pretty high.
Yeah, no, most definitely. The African National Congress has absolutely no competition when it comes to electoral support in the past, but this is slowly changing. And what has been happening, you had people who not necessarily joining the opposition, but the decision that they took was to stay away. But now the ANC in itself, it's waging a campaign against itself when it deals with its matter in the way it has been dealing with it. And once again, the Northwest province, and it's a sad situation, and sometimes it seems as if we are thumb-sucking these issues, but if you go to certain villages, the people are battling to have access to clean water or horrible roads and all that infrastructure, and you need a capable leadership that will deal with that. And that's unfortunate. It's all these things, as you have correctly stated, that impacts on the perceptions that people have about the African National Congress in the province, but later on this will also build on a national picture, because, I mean, where are people residing? People are residing in these provinces, they're residing in these municipal districts, and at the end of the day, these things do build up and have a huge impact on the elections outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Professor, perhaps as you speak about the need for capable leadership, I'd like for us to throw to a bite as a former Northwest ANC chairperson, Supra Mahumapelo, also saying that it's time that young comrades lead the movement. Let's listen in.
Yes, look, in my view, I wish Comrade Bushi had not contested, because he is a veteran of the African National Congress. One of the responsibilities of the veterans of the ANC is to guide us as the general membership of the ANC. When there are problems in the ANC among members or the structures, as a veteran you come and you intervene. Now, if a veteran goes into the mud with us, the ordinary members of the ANC, it's going to take away the dignity and the expectation from you by members as a veteran of the ANC. I wish that he could have applied his mind much better, but he has the right to stand. We can't stop it.
I don't know how much you got to hear of what Supra Mahumapelo was speaking to. And I suppose as we speak about the need for capable leadership, the caliber of the elected leadership will be really important for this province, especially as the entire provincial government was in 2018 put under the administration of the national government. At the time, it was grappling with instability and the lack of service delivery. How important will the caliber of elected leaders be in steering this province forward, especially looking at what Supra Mahumapelo was talking to?
Yes, I mean, in the context of what Supra Mahumapelo stated, and I mean, he's one of those leaders that we all know which side of the fence is sitting, and that sometimes conflates and actually confuses many people when he states even, things that are rational. What Supra stated there, it's definitely, I agree with him completely, but also one should also look at some of the things that leaders like himself have been doing in terms of, ameliorating the situation within the African National Congress, trying to consolidate what is ever left of the organization. And we all know that there is a certain narrative that such leaders are advancing, and unfortunately sometimes even if they come from a point of sincerity, there's always doubts about what they say. But I mean, at one stage he was also nominated by branches, but it is about time. The problem with our youths in politics is that they are following the same political trajectory. If I can occupy this position, if I can just get this tender, and unfortunately they are not curving or cultivating a future where we will be on a different political path. And that's why we've got this vicious cycle of peddling politicians that have been forever there. And it's a very valid point that that the Supra made there. But the fact of the matter is, we all know that maybe Bushi is also coming from a certain faction, and there might have been advice to say you can't step down. Please avail yourself, because we want to advance a certain narrative or protect the interests of a certain grouping within the African National Congress. And that, once again, for me, it's an opportunity lost for the ANC in the province.
It's important that you speak about political trajectory and the narrative, because on the other end, we've heard the ANC's alliance partners, COSATU and the South African National Civic, speaking organization, expressing some concern, warning that it's unsustainable to have 7 different slates within the party vying for power. How much of a factor is that concern?
No, well, As I've indicated, you will say it's democracy has played, the branches have spoken, but we have never had situations in the past where you will have more than 3 or 4 people vying for the position of chairpersonship, because that in itself, it's also indicative of maybe not the divisions as such, but it tells you something that, because in the past, yes, the nominations comes with closed envelopes, and it's only at nomination, at the elective conference, that some members would say they do not accept a nomination. But fact of the matter is, this is clearly a highly divided province, and the nominations in itself also, it's indicative of that current stance or status within the province. And yes, I do agree with the COSATU and other alliance partners that this is definitely not sustainable, because at the end of the day, you need leaders, even if there has been a contest, during the elections, to come out being united and advance the interest not only of ANC members in the province, but also members, citizens in that particular province of North West.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for weighing in and giving us your insight.